Have you ever imagined tackling trails, rough terrain, or even muddy paths with a vehicle so small it could fit inside a tight garage or even in the bed of a pickup truck? While the world is fascinated by massive trucks and heavy-duty 4x4s, there are miniature off-road machines that get the dirty work done with far more style and far less size. Some of these machines were born from military ingenuity, others from farming messes, and some simply from the joy of building something wild on wheels. A few might even look like toys, but they've conquered mud, mountains, and gravel like true beasts. So let me ask you, what's the smallest off-road vehicle you've ever seen? Today, we're taking a ride through the smallest off-roaders ever made, machines that prove size isn't everything. And trust me, the last one on the list is going to blow your mind. Stick around, because that final vehicle is truly something else. The Italian Micro-Utility. The Italian Micro-Utility, launched in 1965 by a northern Italian manufacturer, was a micro off-road utility vehicle originally designed for agricultural and rural tasks. It was tiny, but with big ambitions. It came with a 2-cylinder, air-cooled engine sourced from a common European economy car. That little power plant produced around 18 horsepower. Modest by today's standards, but impressive when paired with a total weight of under 1,100 pounds. That gave the Italian Micro-Utility some serious agility, letting it tackle dirt, wet grass, and moderate hills with surprising ease. Available in rear-wheel or four-wheel drive versions, it featured independent suspension on all 4 wheels, delivering a comfortable ride even on rough terrain. Its compact dimensions made it perfect for navigating narrow vineyard rows, country paths, and even tight alleys in small Italian towns. It looked like a toy. Round headlights, flat windshield, tiny wheels, and boxy bodywork, but it was a real workhorse built for practical use and rugged reliability. Today, the Italian Micro-Utility is one of the most collectible micro-utility vehicles in Europe, extremely rare. Surviving units are either in automotive museums or cherished by classic car collectors. One of these little guys was reportedly used for decades on a vineyard in Italy, carrying tools and supplies through rows where no tractor could fit. Thought that was impressive? Wait until you see what comes next. A scaled-down legend that turns heads wherever it goes. Mini Military 4x4 Replica. Now we're stepping into the world of miniature vehicles that thrill full-grown adults. The Mini Military 4x4 Replica is a scaled-down replica of the legendary World War II-era military utility vehicle, reborn for modern-day adventure, light-duty work, or even display. Built on a reinforced tubular steel frame and lightweight body, this mini beast runs on a 4-stroke engine, usually between 200cc and 300cc, depending on the version. It puts out about 10 to 12 horsepower, more than enough to move its 400-pound frame through light trails, fields, or dirt back roads with confidence. With 4-wheel drive and manual transmission, this replica behaves like a true off-road machine. It can climb hills, splash through water crossings, and handle muddy or rocky terrain without breaking a sweat. It features independent front suspension, a solid rear axle, and knobby tires that give it real off-road grip. And visually, it's a stunner. From military-style paint jobs to vintage-inspired seats and dashboard layouts, everything about it screams nostalgia. Despite its compact size, it comfortably seats 2 adults. It's been used by hobby farmers, content creators, property owners, and even collectors who proudly display it at vintage or military vehicle shows. One buyer even built a small off-road course in his backyard just to enjoy this mini replica with family and friends, turning it into the highlight of weekend get-togethers. But hold on. Next up is a compact off-roader made by none other than a famous European sports car manufacturer. The German hunting wagon prototype. That's right, the European sports car manufacturer, best known for its high-performance vehicles, once built a compact military off-roader. The German hunting wagon prototype was developed in 1954 as a response to a European Army's request for a lightweight, all-terrain utility vehicle. It featured a 1.5-liter flat-4 engine producing around 50 horsepower. With 4-wheel drive and a 5-speed manual transmission, the hunting wagon could tackle river crossings, snow, rocks, and mud with ease. Weighing just under 2,000 pounds, it had fully independent suspension and a watertight body, allowing it to cross shallow rivers and operate in harsh conditions. Its design was minimalist but tough: an open body, wide fenders, and durable wheels. Built for function, not flash, it prioritized maneuverability in tight or rugged environments. Only about 70 units were ever built, making it one of the manufacturer's rarest creations. Today, the hunting wagon is a high-value collectible. One restored model was auctioned in Germany for over $300,000. Interestingly, despite being a military prototype, its smooth ride made it a favorite among the manufacturer's engineers, some of whom reportedly drove it to and from work during testing. If you think that's cool, just wait until you meet the next one: a compact electric off-roader already making waves on hobby farms and rural properties around the world. The ultra-compact electric utility. When it comes to redefining what a mini electric off-roader can be, the ultra-compact electric utility is in a league of its own. Built in Asia, this ultra-compact utility vehicle is just over 2 meters long and barely 1.5 meters wide. It looks like a blend of a microcar and a golf cart, but it's far more capable than you'd expect. Designed for light-duty off-road use, the ultra-compact electric utility comes equipped with a small electric motor that delivers enough torque to climb hills, cruise down dirt paths, and handle gravel or even shallow mud. It's quiet, efficient, and can travel up to 60 miles on a single charge, depending on the battery pack. Inside, it's basic but functional. 2 adults can ride comfortably with a small rear storage area. The dash features digital readouts, lighting, ventilation, and even a radio in some versions. It comes with upgraded suspension and beefier tires compared to standard city EVs, making it ideal for use on hobby farms, gardens, or small rural properties. What makes it so unique is its ability to go where larger vehicles can't. Whether you're navigating between rows of crops, hauling gear across an outdoor event, or just cruising around a private piece of land, the ultra-compact electric utility fits the job. It's also eye-catching. Some versions come with metallic paint, roof racks, reinforced mirrors, and fender guards, giving it the vibe of a mini rural SUV. There are people using these in farm expos, ranch properties, or even as utility vehicles for maintenance inside large private grounds and communities where quiet transport is essential. Now, let's keep going, because next up is a Japanese classic with a high-revving heart and the soul of a truck. The original Japanese mini truck. Before this brand became globally known for its motorcycles and reliable city cars, the company made its four-wheel debut with a tiny pickup that mixed mechanical genius with off-road ambition. The original Japanese mini truck, launched in 1963, was the brand's very first production four-wheeler, and it came into the world with a surprisingly capable and fun-loving personality. At just under 10 feet in length, the mini truck looked like a mini work truck. Small enough to park sideways in a garage, yet functional enough to carry tools, gear, or fresh produce, thanks to a rear bed that handled loads up to 660 pounds. It quickly became a favorite for small businesses and farmers in Japan. Under the hood was a screaming little engine, a four-cylinder inline with only 356 cc, but revving all the way up to 9,000 RPM. It delivered around 30 horsepower through a 4-speed manual transmission and rear-wheel drive. The low curb weight made it extremely nimble, responsive, and even fun to drive. The front suspension was independent, while the rear used a solid axle with leaf springs, offering a surprisingly stable ride over rough paths, dirt roads, or light hills. Many rice farmers and shopkeepers in 1960s Japan relied on the mini truck for daily tasks in both rural and suburban settings. The high-revving engine made it sound more like a motorcycle than a utility truck. And it wasn't long before young enthusiasts were modifying the exhaust to make it even more vocal. Today, the original Japanese mini truck is a cult classic, rare, collectible, and highly sought after in the Japanese classic vehicle scene. In shows, it often gets just as much attention as larger sports cars thanks to its historical significance and undeniable charm. And speaking of small but mighty, the next vehicle hauls dirt, gravel, and sand like a beast. Yet, it's smaller than many compact cars. Tracked mini dumper utility. When it comes to raw strength and a compact frame, few machines earn more respect than the tracked mini dumper utility. This little powerhouse is built to haul dirt, stone, wood, or even cement across rough terrain, all while being small enough to park beside a lawnmower. What makes it stand out? Instead of wheels, it runs on rubber tracks, just like a mini excavator. That gives it unbeatable traction over mud, gravel, uneven ground, and even steep slopes. It goes where many ATVs and utility trucks get stuck. Engine size varies by model, but most use a gasoline-powered single-cylinder engine between 200 cc's and 300 cc, producing between 6 and 13 horsepower. That may not sound like much, but thanks to its low gearing and efficient transmission, this crawler can carry loads up to 1,750 pounds without hesitation. Its structure is built from reinforced steel, featuring a tubular chassis and a dump bed that can tilt manually or hydraulically. Steering is handled by dual levers like a tank, allowing it to pivot in place and maneuver in extremely tight spaces. It's widely used in residential construction, landscaping, small homesteads, nurseries, greenhouses, and mountain farms. Anywhere a wheelbarrow just isn't enough, and a full-size truck would be overkill. In areas with soft soil or steep inclines, it's often the only tool that gets the job done. One small-scale produce farmer in Oregon shared how he cut his harvest transport time in half by replacing hand carts with one of these mini crawlers. It became his go-to tool no matter the season. And it's not just functional, it looks the part too. Rugged, industrial, compact, and when fully loaded, it climbs a dirt ramp like it's nothing. Now, let's move on, because the next vehicle is a classic Japanese icon that's still going strong in many parts of the world. The enduring Japanese key truck. When you talk about compact workhorses, the enduring Japanese K-Truck stands out as a true veteran. Originally launched in 1961, this Japanese mini-truck has seen countless updates, but its mission has always been the same: deliver big utility in a small, agile package. The most iconic versions appeared in the 1970s, featuring a rear-mounted 3-cylinder engine with around 600 cc. Power output ranged from 30 to 50 horsepower depending on the year, but that was plenty for hauling up to 1,000 pounds in the rear bed. At just over 10 feet in length, the Key Truck was and still is perfect for maneuvering through tight city streets or narrow trails on rural properties. Built with a reinforced frame, independent front suspension, and a solid rear axle, it handles both pavement and light off-road duties with ease. One of its biggest strengths is agility. It can turn on a dime, fit between trees, squeeze through alleyways, and is often seen in rice fields, greenhouses, or construction sites in Japan. It's also used by utility workers in mountain towns where bigger vehicles simply can't go. Its design is all about function: a boxy cab, straightforward lights, and a flatbed with fold-down sides or dump functionality. But don't be fooled, this is a tough little machine known for reliability and low maintenance. The Key Truck has been exported all over the world, including rural parts of North America, where it serves as a go-to alternative to ATVs and UTVs for light-duty farm and ranch work. Interestingly, in parts of Southeast Asia, entire communities rely on fleets of these for deliveries, mobile shops, and even food trucks. It's a living legend in the world of compact utility vehicles. And, up next, a rugged off-roader straight out of the Austrian Alps with military DNA built in. The Alpine Mountain Mule. The name might sound gentle, almost cute, but the Alpine Mountain Mule 4x4 is a true mountain beast. Developed in Austria in the 1950s by a prominent European engineering firm, this rugged little machine was built with a single goal in mind: to be unstoppable in extreme off-road conditions, especially in the narrow, steep paths of the Alps. Just under 10 feet long and barely wide enough to fit down a hiking trail, the Mountain Mule looked like a toy at first glance. But the moment you hear its engine roar and watch it climb over boulders, you realize it's a serious piece of machinery. Powered by a rear-mounted 2-cylinder engine with around 600 cc, it delivered about 27 horsepower. Weighing just over 1,000 pounds, it featured full-time 4-wheel drive, a super low center of gravity, and one of the most capable drivetrains of its time. Its independent suspension had long travel and flexibility, allowing all four wheels to stay planted on uneven terrain. Locking differentials front and rear gave it the ability to keep moving even with limited traction, putting it on par with much larger off-roaders and even outperforming them in tight spaces. Inside, it was bare bones. 2 seats, a simple dash, and heavy-duty levers for shifting and controls. But it could carry 4 people or over 1,000 pounds of cargo in places where even pack animals would struggle. It was used by the military, mountain rescue teams, electricians working on Alpine towers, and even rural property owners in the European highlands. There was even a version turned into a mini ambulance for remote rescue operations. Today, the Mountain Mule is celebrated as one of the most capable, compact off-road vehicles ever built. Enthusiasts still take them on trails, show them at events, and even use them as daily drivers in mountainous regions. And here's a fun fact: some European farms still use these machines to this day for real everyday work. But hold tight, because the next one doesn't just drive, it floats. The French amphibious all-terrain vehicle. Picture this: a rugged-looking off-roader. Wide tires, high suspension, the stance of an ATV, and then, with a push of a button, it transforms into a watercraft. Sounds like a scene from a spy movie, right? But the French amphibious all-terrain vehicle is very real, and quite possibly the smallest functional amphibious off-road machine in the world. Designed by a French engineer known for his wild custom builds, this amphibious vehicle is a 2-in-1 beast. On land, it looks and feels like a sport ATV, powered by a 4-stroke single-cylinder engine around 300 cc, producing 20 to 25 horsepower. Its dual propulsion system is where the magic happens. On dirt, it runs on rear-wheel drive. Once in the water, a retractable jet turbine kicks in, turning the vehicle into a mini jet ski that can float and move with surprising ease. It's got independent suspension on all 4 corners, long travel shocks, and a lightweight sealed frame that allows it to float effortlessly. Whether you're riding over sand dunes, gravel paths, or through muddy wetlands, it handles terrain changes without missing a beat. Visually, it's futuristic. Exposed framework, aggressive styling, minimalist controls. It looks more like a prototype from a high-tech startup than a backyard toy. And it's not just for show. It's been used in outdoor events, extreme sports exhibitions, rescue demonstrations, and even by production crews who need to cross water and land with gear in tow. One version was reportedly purchased by a European billionaire who uses it to patrol his property, which includes both forest trails and a private lake. For most vehicles, that would require 2 machines. For the amphibious vehicle, just shift modes and keep going. Small, yes. Unique, absolutely. But we're not done yet. The next machine trades wheels for tracks and was made to conquer snow, ice, and frozen mud. The Snowbeast Quad Track. Deep snow, icy trails, frozen soil. Most vehicles wouldn't dare touch terrain like that. But the Snowbeast Quad Track was built for it. This compact hybrid of a quad and a snowmobile takes the concept of off-road mobility to a whole new level. Designed by a US company specializing in snowmobiles and rugged terrain vehicles, the Quad Track replaces all 4 wheels with full rubber track systems, giving it the grip and flotation it needs to glide over surfaces that would stop other vehicles in their tracks. Powered by a 4-stroke single-cylinder engine with electronic fuel injection, it pushes out about 35 horsepower. And while that number might seem small, paired with its low weight and full-time 4-track drive, it performs like a miniature tank. Each track is independently suspended, allowing constant contact with uneven terrain. Whether you're climbing icy inclines or skimming over frozen lakes, this machine remains stable, predictable, and fun to ride. The open cockpit has wide handlebars, a dual seat, and controls built for operation in freezing temperatures, even with gloves on. It's used in real-world situations where other vehicles can't reach: frozen trail patrols, electrical line inspections, backcountry rescue, and wilderness expeditions. Looks-wise, it's all attitude: lifted chassis, matte black body, fluorescent decals. Even standing still, it looks like it's in motion. And when it's moving, the sound of the tracks chewing through the snow is pure off-road music. There's a popular video of one of these pulling a full sled with 6 people through a blizzard in Alaska, while other vehicles sat stuck at the trailhead. It made the round trip without slipping once. Think you've seen it all? Just wait. The final vehicle on this list walks on water, but it's built with the soul of a trail beast. The classic amphibious all-terrain rover. At first glance, the classic amphibious all-terrain rover looks like a toy, but watch one in action and it quickly earns your respect. Built in the United States during the late 1960s and early 1970s, this all-terrain rover was one of the first truly compact amphibious utility vehicles. It could drive on land, float on water, and fit in a garage smaller than most modern sedans. Its purpose? To conquer terrain where nothing else could go: swamps, riverbanks, snow-covered fields, and deep mud. It ran on a 4-stroke engine between 200 cc's and 300 cc, producing 10 to 20 horsepower. That may sound modest, but with its lightweight body and efficient gearing, it got the job done. Equipped with 6x6 or 4x4 drive systems and oversized balloon tires, it floated naturally in water. The rotating wheels themselves provided enough thrust to move slowly across lakes, ponds, or marshes. The body was made of sealed fiberglass or molded plastic, offering durability and buoyancy. Inside, it was simple: molded seats, a basic dash, and plenty of open space for tools or passengers. It could carry 2 or 3 people plus gear. Ideal for fishing, hunting, maintenance work, or just weekend fun. In places like the southern US and parts of Canada, the all-terrain rover became a symbol of rugged exploration. Some emergency services even used it for flood rescues in areas where boats couldn't reach. One Florida hunter used his rover to reach a remote cabin only accessible by narrow waterways and muddy trails. While others needed a boat and a hike, he drove the whole way in one go. Today, classic all-terrain rovers are restored by collectors and off-road enthusiasts who love their quirky go-anywhere charm. And yes, many of them are still out there floating and crawling their way through tough terrain. So, can you picture all these little beasts in action? From wartime engineering to recreational innovations, the world's smallest off-roaders prove that greatness doesn't always come in full-size packages. These aren't just machines, they're symbols of creativity, toughness, and smart design. In a world obsessed with bigger and heavier, they remind us that sometimes less truly is more, and that the real power lies in the cleverness behind the machine. Now, tell us in the comments which one of these mini off-roaders blew your mind. Which one would you love to drive for a weekend adventure? And which one had you saying, "I never even knew that existed"? And hey, if you liked any of the models we showed in this video, some of them, like the mini military 4x4 replica, the ultra-compact electric utility, and the tracked mini dumper utility, if you're into off-road machines, odd vehicles, or anything with tires and attitude, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon, because every week we bring you the wildest machines ever built to conquer snow, dirt, mud, and the imagination. See you in the next video.